had this alert come across our phones. The National Weather Service is warning us of a flash flood warning in effect for this area until 4:30. As you can see, it's 2:26. It says it's a dangerous, life-threatening situation. Do not attempt to travel unless you're fleeing an area subject to flooding under an evacuation order. So needless to say, we're going to stay put. Fixing to walk around our property because the cattle field around us has got some flooding. It has never done this before. I think they call this a generational type storm and flooding. So we're going to go out here and check it out. We're going to take y'all with us. Now all this area that we're showing you back here, that is never underwater. That right there is some major flooding. See if I can bring it in for you. All of that is normally just as dry as a bone. This right here, this is a little pond that's on the back side of our property, but it's never that big. So it's being affected by all of this flooding as well. And I don't know if the camera picks it up, but that area right there is flooded. And all that area right there, just past that fence line in the middle of the screen, that's all underwater. I don't know if you can tell it. That has never happened before. Normally all that area right there is bone dry. Matter of fact, when severe weather happens, that's the location that the cattle usually run to. As you can see there, just a little bit to the left, that's all the water. So it's forcing all the cattle to come up this way. Where it's high and dry for them. About a week or so ago, Pop got out here and tilled up all this and created our rows. And as you can see, it's got standing water in it, but if we were to have plants down in the ground, those hills are up high enough that the plants would not be sitting in water. From this angle, you can tell how our property sits up. There's our garden spot. And then it goes and slopes down over there and goes down into a valley. So all that flooding is there below us. We have what they call dry springs here on our property. So when it rains, they'll start bubbling up out of the ground. You can see there's the opening for one of the dry springs right there. This right here is a ditch that runs in front of our house. There's so much water coming from up the mountain that it looks like a running creek. It's coming out here on the other side and making its way down the mountain. And since there's nothing that we can do outside, I'm going to go ahead and start some seeds for this hydroponic system. We've never grown hydroponics before, so I'm really excited to give this a try. This will hold up to 108 plants, and my goal is to make this like a herb and salad bar. And never used it before, so really excited to figure it all out and see how it's going to work for us. These are the items that I'm going to use to get the hydroponics started, and I just want to share with y'all, every bit of this is a blessing. Garden Pack sent this to me and asked me to review them, so I'm excited to use those seeds. They're non-GMO and they're heirloom, and that's the kind that we like around here. Now, this grow light, this greenhouse germination kit, as well as this heat mat, that was all gifted to me by a friend, and I'm so appreciative of that. And these little foam seed starting cells, well, that came with the hydroponic system. And the hydroponic system was sent to me by Viver. They asked me to review it. So I'm excited that I'm going to be able to test this all out, and every bit of it was a blessing. Here's an update on the seeds that we started back on, I believe it was March the 1st. And as you can see, they are growing by leaps and bounds. Those are our zucchinis right there, and these are our squash. And it is time for us to separate them out. Our Cucumbers are doing really well, as are the peppers. They finally started sprouting for us. We would like to thank ButcherBox for sponsoring today's video. We are able to grow a lot of vegetables here on the homestead, but we're not yet to the point where we can raise our own meat, and that is why we are so glad to be partnering with ButcherBox. Craving high-quality, delicious meat? ButcherBox delivers 100% grass-fed beef, heritage-bred pork, free-range organic chicken, and wild-caught seafood, raised with care, no antibiotics or hormones. Choose from curated boxes or build your own, with flexible delivery every 2 to 8 weeks. Packed frozen, vacuum-sealed, and shipped in an insulated box. It stays fresh and ready to enjoy. Ethically sourced, incredibly tasty, and delivered to your door. Upgrade your meals with ButcherBox today. We left our link in the description in case you want to check out ButcherBox and have 100% organic meat delivered directly to your door. This is a really nice germination kit, and it came from Walmart. And it's got organic plantable trays, reusable drip tray, and greenhouse lid with adjustable vents. So what I'm going to do is take this apart, and I don't need these trays, but I am going to save them because they will come in handy at a later date. For starting the hydroponics, I just want this drip tray as well as this greenhouse lid. Next, I'm going to take these foam seed starting cells and I'm going to place them inside this drip tray. Now, there are enough of these little cells to start 110 plants, and the hydroponic system only holds 108, but I'm going to go ahead and seed them all because maybe something won't germinate, and even if it does, then I'll just take them and plant them somewhere else. But these are little foam squares, and they have this little hole right there in the middle, and on the inside, the camera's not picking it up, but there's like a little slit. Let me see if you can see that. Pull it close, maybe not. So what I'm going to do is get these nice and down inside this drip tray, and then I'm going to pour water all over it. Try not to make a mess. There we go. Now I'm going to let this soak for at least a good 5 minutes or so in order for this foam to soak up that water real good. And while those cells are soaking, I'm going to look through this seed box and pick out the seeds that I want to sow into the hydroponic system. This has 75 varieties of herbs, veggies, and flowers, and there are over 40,000 seeds inside of here. They're GMO free, 100% natural, and you got planting equipment, growing instructions included, and double quality check, ensuring premium seeds. And it has this nice list here on the back telling you these are the 55 vegetable seeds in here. Let's see, there's 15 herbs and 5 flowers, and they say all their seeds have been tested for the highest germination rate. So I'm excited to give these a try. This comes in a really nice little seed box. I like the detail to this. When you open it up, it tells you this is your sowing and growing instructions, and when you flip this over, there's a QR code that you can scan and actually download an ebook that will give you some good growing instructions. And this side right here is all your seeds, and they send you with these gloves, and I've had a pair of these before, and I actually find them to be very useful. One side of them has got these little claws, and it makes it good for helping digging stuff out of the dirt. So I like these. I've had a pair before, so I'm excited to have another pair of these as well. Now, these aren't in any kind of order in here. They're just all kind of shoved in there. I do like their packaging. Now, this is really cool. This is a curly kale, and what's really fun, each of these seed packets have a QR code that you can scan to give you growing tips for the variety of vegetable, herb, or flower that is coming in that little packet. And on the back, it says, "To plan a garden is to believe in tomorrow." I really like these. So far, they're impressing me. So I'm going to look through here, sort them out, and then I'll come back to you. These over here are the vegetable type seeds. These are the flower seeds. It's got some nasturtium in there, small marigolds, some other nasturtium, some more marigolds, and sunflowers, which is my favorite. Now, it also had a few melon type. Here's a pumpkin, sugar baby watermelon, and I can't really tell what that says, but it's some sort of a melon seed. So I'm excited about that. Now, all of these are seeds that I feel like will be great for the hydroponics. I did run across one I had never heard of before, and it's called Garden Rocket. So I thought it would be fun for us to use the QR code. All I got to do is scan it right there and open. Now we're having storms, so hopefully this is going to work for us. Okay, so this, please choose the product you purchase. So this is going to be the 75 seed box. I hope this comes up. Y'all know we're having some stormy weather, so it may take us a minute. Okay, I got it to come up, and this is your growing and sowing guide. You also get 25% off for your next purchase as a thank you. And really nice little legends, I guess you would say. There's symbols explained, and then it's all in alphabetical order, the seeds that you have inside this packet. So I've already, before I turned back on the camera, I kind of scrolled through to make sure I could find it. Now, on this seed, packet, it says Garden Rocket. So I was expecting it to be somewhere around the G, but it turns out underneath this guide, it's Rocket Garden. So I'm going to scan up till I find it, and there it is. So, turns out that Rocket is also known as arugula. It's the rebellious cousin of the great family of cabbages. And Rocket is a lovely addition to a garden salad. And with its own unique spicy flavor, quick growing, tolerant of neglect, oh boy, and if left will reseed itself every year. I think that this is going to be a perfect seed to put in hydroponics, so we're going to add that in there. But I really like how each of these seed packets has a QR code to take you right to that seed and give you some really good information about growing. So if you're beginning in gardening, I highly recommend this. Hopefully these seeds are going to germinate well, and we're going to find out. I've chosen all my seeds for the hydroponic system, and I'm kind of come up with a way to keep up with what I'm sowing for the hydroponics, so hopefully this is going to work out. But I got something I need to do before we start sowing the seeds into those little foam cells. The cells have had time to soak up all that water, and as you can see, they're pretty good and soaked. So what I'm going to do now is take this and go drain off that excess water out of the drip tray. Got the excess water drained off of the drip tray. I did not squeeze the little sponges. I just left whatever water it soaked up there, because that's what's going to help get our seeds to germinate. So now let's get to seeding them. So there are 11 rows of 10 cells. So I figured what I could do is sow 5 of a variety on each row at the top and 5 of another kind of variety on the bottom on each row, and that should give me 22 varieties within these cells. Now, how I plan to keep up with what I'm sowing is I am going to dub this right here as row 1. And so I'll know that that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So going from left to right, this is row 1. So I will sow 5 of a variety here, and then 5 of a variety here, and do that all the way down. And to keep up with what I'm planting, in row 1, cells 1 through 5 are going to be Garden Rocket, and then cells 6 through 10 are going to be Matador Spinach. And I'm going to document as I plant all the way through. That way, as they grow, I'll be able to keep up with what in the world it was I planted in what cell. And I love that on this page, the scripture says, depend on the Lord in whatever you do, and your plans will succeed. Proverbs 16:3. We plant the seeds, y'all, but God makes them grow. got all that seeded, and boy, I tell you, some of them seeds are really tiny. Now, here toward the end, I was using some older seeds that I have, so I went ahead and put multiples just because I'm not sure what the germination rate will be. I tried to stick to just one on these fresh seeds that should have a really good germination. What I'm going to do is take this little tool right here with this little pointy end, and I'm going to try to very carefully encourage those little seeds without damaging them to kind of go down inside the sponge a little bit, so they can really start absorbing that water and begin the germination process. So I am going to finish doing this, and then I'll come back and show you what I'm going to do next. Got all those nice and nestled inside those cells, and what I'm going to do next is I'm going to spritz them with some water because I feel like that these cells are kind of drying out a little bit. So I want to make sure I don't want to drown the seeds because I don't want them to get in there and rot, but I'm just going to put a little mist over the top here just to make sure it's nice and moist, because they do need that moisture in order to start germinating. So let me do this real quick. Oops, I don't want it to be a direct rush. Well, can't get that situated. All right, here we go. Just going to kind of hit it a little bit. It's not the setting I wanted the sprayer to be on, but it should help keep them sponges from drying out. That's just really what I want. Keep them from drying out. Now that I got everything seeded, I'm going to put this dome here on the top of it, and thankfully it's tall enough that it's not going to mess with my plant marker, let me know where my rows start. Now, here on the top of this dome, you'll see it has these little vents right here. You can close them all the way or open them up a little bit. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on here, and I'm going to almost close them. Not quite, but almost. Just leave a little bit of room for some air to circulate in there. And just to show you what it looks like, this is with the vents wide open, and I'm going to turn this to just about like that. So it's just barely open right there. And I've done the same thing with this one right here. I've had this plugged in for about 20-30 minutes, and as you can see, the humidity is already starting to build up in there. That's a good thing. And I decided after further research to go ahead and close these vents off completely to allow that humidity to build up even more. And once I start seeing some sprouts, then we'll let some air in. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this heating mat here, got it out of the box, and what I'll do is I'll plug it in over here on the counter, and it's been in the box so it's nice and folded up, but I'm going to lay it here on top of this little greenhouse thing just so you can see the size of it. So what I'll do is I'll plug it in, and then I'll take and place this greenhouse little tray on top of it and turn it on, and that way it'll heat it up, and it's going to create that good environment for the seedlings to start germinating. And I'm going to leave them like this until I see them start to germinate and sprout real good. And then I've got this grow light system that I'll put over them. But first, I gotta wait for the little sprouts to come up. And once they come up, then they're gonna need some light. Because otherwise, they're gonna go looking for the light and they're gonna get real leggy. And we don't want that to happen. So I'm gonna bring y'all along on this journey with me. But for now, this is what we're gonna do. And I just want to say that our thoughts and our prayers go out to everyone who's been affected by these storms. We've had to put up with a lot of thunderstorms and raining and lightning and a lot of warnings over the last few days, but we're blessed that we haven't been affected negatively like a lot of the communities around us have. So anyway, Thank y'all so much for watching this video. And if you haven't already, we would love it if you would like, subscribe, and share. We're empty nesters in our early 50s who moved from the Memphis, Tennessee area out here to the Ozarks in order to realize our dream of homesteading. As you can see, we love to grow food and we love to can, and we see things here from seed to seal. So this is our first time to ever do hydroponics, and it might be a success and it might flop. But whichever way it goes, we're going to bring you along with us. All right, now, y'all, until next time, y'all be blessed. Bye.